We continue with our breaking news. We want to bring you an update on the story we've been following all morning out of Philadelphia, as we have team coverage following this disastrous situation last night with Amtrak and the derailment that has left 6 dead and dozens injured. Let's go back up to Philly. Tom Rousey now is standing by. Tom, what's the latest?
Well, Larry, we're told within about an hour or so we're going to hear from Philadelphia's mayor and get some more information, but we've been getting new information throughout the morning here. We do know that sadly 6 people have died, 8 others at last check in critical condition. The derailment scene is a couple blocks behind me, and Philadelphia's mayor's office is confirming the National Transportation Safety Board is on scene investigating now. It's going to be their job to determine exactly what went wrong out here last night. Here is video of the train that derailed. This was a train that was going from Union Station in D.C., where it left a little after 7 o'clock last night. Ultimate destination was New York City, but after it stopped at the historic 30th Street station here in Philadelphia, it only went a few more miles, and that is where, near a very big curve here, it did derail. All 7 cars derailed. We talked to one passenger who came back to the scene this morning about what the experience was like. She said there was very little warning. Stuff started moving on the train, and before she knew it, she and a whole lot of other people were being thrown all over the place. She tells us what happened next.
Our car had flipped over. I was at the bottom in the dirt along with other people. One of the women next to me was injured, so was another woman on the right. They were stuck underneath the chairs.
And you can see at this hour we still have a lot of police on the scene here, protecting the scene down there, where there have been a lot of people who have been working throughout the night. And again, the National Transportation Safety Board from D.C. is on scene right now. For more on what's going on here in Philadelphia, we're going to go to our Jeanette Reyes, who is in a different part of town covering this story for us. Jeanette, what's going on there?
Well, Tom, we're not too far away from you, and, you know, we've seen all levels of this devastation in terms of the impact on victims here. Earlier this morning, we were at where the location where the Red Cross is. It's an elementary school not too far from here, and those were passengers who weren't really injured, a bit shaken up, of course, and still in shock, but they were waiting on family members as well as taxis to go back home. One woman I talked to was from Baltimore, so she was just trying to head back home. But here at Temple University Hospital, which is where I am right now, we're seeing or we've heard of injuries from minor to much more severe. We were able to confirm not too long ago, earlier this morning, that the 6th person did in fact die at this hospital. Just take a look at these images here. It should give you an idea of what these passengers went through. Just some background here. We do know that over 140 people were transported to hospitals. 54 were transported to Temple University Hospital. 8 are still in critical condition. 25 are still here. Now, we did talk to the chief medical officer, Dr. Herbert Cushing. He described what the scene was earlier this morning. Take a listen to what he had to say. And we do know from this chief medical officer, Dr. Cushing, that there was a gentleman from Spain, another from India, according to him, just all over the world. And of course, most of these passengers were not from Philadelphia. Now, one thing that he said that was quite striking, perhaps not surprising, though, is that a lot of his staff, a lot of the crew here came in even before they were called in, because they just wanted to offer whatever assistance they could, but it was all hands on deck. And one thing I should mention really quickly, we have been asked whether or not everyone has been accounted for. At this point, we have not gotten word as to whether or not that is the case, and part of the reason why is because you don't have assigned seats on these trains, so that is going to take some time to make sure that everyone is accounted for. As soon as we get word that that is the case, we will of course pass that right along to you. Right now, we're going to send it over to Sam Sweeney, who is in Washington, D.C., with the very latest going on there. Sam, what can you tell us?
Jeanette, good morning. We are at Union Station, where that train left from just after 7 o'clock last night. We're following the travel advisory effect of this. Lots of people piling into Union Station right now, whether they're locals here from D.C., tourists, but many of them are coming up from the southeast. A lot of overnight trains leave from Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, and this morning those passengers are now arriving. They knew of that train derailment when they were on the train last night, but they didn't quite get the scope of the problem. I want to take you inside the Union Station and show you some of the lines at the ticket counters right now. A lot of these passengers, they understand that people lost their lives, but they are very frustrated, and they're taking it out on these ticket agents here. They don't know how they're going to get home. Many are going to New York City, Boston, beyond, some into Maine and even Canada, and now they are stuck. There were seats available on Boat Bus and Megabus earlier this morning, but those have mostly filled up. I think Megabus right now, I just checked in the last 5 minutes, they have 2 buses with seats available, but that's not until 1:30 this afternoon, and then the next bus with seats available is at 5:30. The airline's also quickly filling up, but those are expensive options at this point. So a lot of people who were looking for budget travel now stuck here. They don't know how they're going to get to their final destination. Amtrak has modified their schedule. They are only offering service into Philadelphia's 30th Street station. Philadelphia Mayor Michael Nutter says he doesn't expect any trains to leave Philadelphia headed northbound for the next 7 days. So it is a big travel nightmare. Amtrak says they are working with passengers right now under their flexible travel policy. If you've already purchased tickets, you're able to refund them, reschedule them, or simply cancel them. Larry, we're going to send it back to you for the rest of this coverage.